Who said Zane can't kill bosses? Look at this. Yo, this is crazy, bro. This is Mayhem 3. I'm using a freaking submachine gun. Look at this. Yo, watch this. Look at this. Who said Zane's not good? Who said Zane can't kill bosses? Yo, I'm absolutely melting with this build right now. And I don't even have any of my kill skills activated. Yo, this is crazy, bro. I don't even have my kill skills activated. Look how much damage I'm doing right now. This is retarded. Let's go. Let's go. Sorry, Flack and Mo's. We got Zane now. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scared Soldier bringing you another Zane build. So this, in my opinion, is the best Zane build in the game. Now, it depends how you want to play Zane, but if you want to play a supporting member on your team and be that guy who just has the shields and protects your team, then be my guest. But I want to be an absolute beast with Zane and show how powerful of a character he really is, and that he can keep up with almost every other character in the game. Obviously, Flak has the most DPS damage in the game, and so does Mo's, but I want to show that Zane can at least keep up to some extent and melt bosses and enemies just as effective. So what you're going to need for this build is first the Brawler Ward Shield. I'm going to explain everything in detail in this build, guys, so stay with me. Then you're going to need the Sprinted Sonic Boom Infiltrator. And as the little thing over here, you can put whatever you feel more comfortable with. I like this because it gives you more action skill cooldown rate, and it's really important that we have our action skills up as much as possible and as soon as possible. So let's get into the build. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to put 5 points right over here. It's simple. It's because you're going to get extra gun damage per action skill active. So you're going to have an extra 40% gun damage right here for free. Then we're going to have 3 points in here because our Digiclone is going to get extra mags, so we're going to get extra mags, so we're going to continuously be shooting and not reloading, which means more damage, which is what we want. Then we're going to put 5 points in here in the borrowed time, simply because it increases our action skill duration for every action skill up. So if we have 2 action skills up, it increases the duration for 30 seconds, which is really, really big, because this one over here, you're going to put 5 points in this, and whenever one or more of Zane's action skills are active, he gains increased movement speed for each active action skill. So essentially it is, as long as the action skills are up, you're going to be fast, and the faster you move, the faster Zane, like the more damage Zane puts out, essentially. So then you're going to put 5 points in Donnybrook because, again, there's more gun damage, and this is not only 19% increase in gun damage, and you're going to see why, but essentially is by killing somebody, you and your clone get increased gun damage and health regeneration. So these two together work really well. Then we have to get down the tree somehow. So we're gonna put 1 point in here, simply because this is a kill skill, and Zane, the main purpose of Zane is kill skills essentially. So he has, I think, a total of about 11 or 12 total kill skills. So just by putting a point here, we activate this. I'll tell you the reasons why, also why we're not putting points in the ones that you see that there's no points in, but let's get down the tree. So again, we have another kill skill, pocket full of grenades. You're going to put 1 point here to activate it. So when you kill somebody, Zane gains grenade regeneration. Now, this might not seem as important to you guys, grenade regeneration, and at first I thought it wasn't that important as well. But when I really thought about it, if you're every time you put out your clone, which is pretty frequently, you're going to be consuming grenades every time, and the more grenades your clone consumes, the more gun damage he gets. So essentially you always want to have a full inventory of grenades at all times, because every single time you have a full inventory of grenades, every time you put out your clone, he uses 3 of them and he gets 60% extra gun damage. His duration is increased by 75%. You see the stats on the side, guys, everything times 3. So you want your clone always to be as powerful as possible. That's why the pocket full of grenades is important, to regenerate grenades. And don't forget, your clone's also going to be throwing a grenade, so you need to have grenades to make your clone as strong as possible. And in the latest patch, they just buffed Zane's clone by 40% more gun damage. So you want to have your clone on the field, to put it that way. Then you're gonna just put, you don't have to put anything here, so don't put any points here. It's just because my class mod gives me a point there. But if you don't want to, don't put a point here. The next thing is 1 point here, and then 1 point in the double barrel. Double barrel gives your clone a copy of your weapon, and like I just said before, your clone has an extra 40% damage in the newest patch with whatever weapon he has. And whenever you swap places with your clone, you and your clone get an extra 20% gun damage. So you're just getting gun damage everywhere from everything. Your clone is super powerful, you are super powerful, and you're not wasting any stats in these things. So I'm going to just explain quickly why we don't put any points in the Trick of Light. Simply because there's 5 elements in the game: Kyro, Fire, Corrosive, Radiation, and Shock. And this is only 1 out of the 5, so the percent of somebody being resistant to shock is high. And also that it only applies to them if they're not looking at you. So if the enemies are not targeting you, then the bonus shock damage will be applied, and it's not a big bonus either. So in reality, it's such a waste of points to even have this, and it's not a kill skill, so it's not even buffed by the death follows. Quick breather simply is because for this purpose of this build, since this is the highest DPS build for Zane, we don't want our shields to actually recharge. We don't even want to have shields up most of the time, and you're gonna see why. So this is pretty much pointless. And in general, I mean, you don't want to switch. You're not going to be wasting time switching places with your clone in battle. Realistically, we don't switch places a lot with our clone. So, I mean, is it really going to be that effective in the long run? Not really. And the key point in this is it says it starts to recharge when you switch places. So if you switch places, it only starts to recharge. But as soon as somebody shoots you, this whole skill right here is nulled because the recharge stops automatically. It doesn't just give you a full shield boost when you switch places, it only starts recharging, so I wouldn't use that. And this one is just stupid. The chance is so low to shoot a grenade out of your weapon, and it's like, okay, cool, I shot a grenade out of my weapon, but like, it's not predictable. So you can be shooting an enemy and all of a sudden a grenade will come out of your gun. Like, it didn't have any purpose, you didn't put it in that position, it just randomly comes out of your gun. So like, you can't strategize with that. So I find it's just too random, not consistent, and to put 5 points in to increase your chance, because 4% is obviously nothing, it's a big waste. So that's the reasons why we don't put anything in there. Lastly, you're going to equip this augment over here because we just want to take some aggro off of Zane at times, just so he can have some more survivability. And you don't have to put anything else because, like I said, it's up to you. You can have something extra, but I just chose not to because, I mean, what if I press the button by accident and then he blows up, and I don't want my clone to blow up. I want him to be in the game for as long as possible, so I didn't put that there. This, like I said, we don't want our shields to be up, so why would we have this one on? You can have it if you want your shields up, but this is for the highest damage, so don't put that. And this one here is just a Kyro Nova, which does like literally no damage, so it's all a waste. And we want our clone to be up as long as possible, so we don't want him to share damage too much. In the undercover tree, as you see, there's gonna be 0 points. So now we're gonna go over here. But sorry, for the undercover tree, you're just gonna want to equip the shield. Reason being is because the shield, when you shoot through it, again gives you an extra 25% damage to your shot with all the buffs already. You get all the buffs, plus you get that shield buff, and you get the swapping places buff. So you swap places with your cone, you get 20% extra damage. The Donnybrook and the other one gives you like more increase in percentage of weapon damage, and then shooting through this gives you an additional 25% weapon damage again. So just more damage, and you get protection, giving you more survivability. The barrier is very strong, and it lasts the whole time. It doesn't have like a health bar, so it can just take infinite damage and not die until the cooldown is finished. So that's really nice about this. And lastly is that the cooldown is very short compared to the Sentinel. Like with all my mods and augments and stuff, my shield and my clone take about 5 to 7 seconds to regenerate. So as opposed to the Sentinel, which yes, they buffed, I'm well aware of, but the Sentinel the cooldown is a lot longer. And for the purpose of this build and keeping maximum damage, we want to keep our action skills up as much as possible. So that's the whole thing with this. The Sentinel, will be up for a couple seconds, then it'll go down. But then, essentially, when you have the Sentinel and the Digiclone, you'll only have one skill up pretty much at the same time for the majority of the battle, because the Sentinel takes way longer to cool down than the Digiclone. But the goal is we want both of them up at the same time so we get the maximum gun damage for Zane. So then we're just going to put 5 points in the violence speed here, because obviously you get more movement speed after you get a kill. And this one here, you're going to put 5 points in because you get more gun damage the faster Zane moves. So obviously if you're moving faster with this 25% movement speed increase after a kill, and you get more gun damage the more faster you move, these two work really well together in maximizing your damage. And not to mention, I'm going to explain this whole thing, how it comes together in a second. So this one here, you're only going to put 1 point in here because it's more than enough. It's a kill skill, so essentially you put 1 point in here simply to activate it. Now salvation is super important. Like, I think it's probably one of the best ones in the Sitman tree, is simply because it literally gives you crazy survivability. Every time an enemy is shooting at you and then you shoot back, it's like you're just exchanging damage. So like, he takes off some life, but I steal his life. It's like I never die. It's crazy. So my health is constantly going up every time I'm doing damage to an enemy. This is really, really powerful. Like, I didn't even know what it did at first, but then after using it and stuff and then seeing what it does, it's super important, guys. So this one, definitely put 3 points in. Then this is where everything comes together, is death follows close, because you get a 25% increase to the effectiveness and then a 7-second increase in duration to all of the kill skills. That's why you see I have 1 point in all my kill skills except this one, because they all gain effectiveness. So you see the reload speed, it says only 3% plus 5% after a kill. So that essentially means that I'm getting a 30% increase in reload speed just by putting 1 point in here. So that's fine, that's more than enough. Here, yes, I'm getting a 5% increase to fire rate, but no, with this I'm getting 30%. So at least it gives me a chance to have all my kill skills being able to be used, because I can simply just put all the rest of the points in here and then call it a day after I put one in death follows. But I want to activate all my kill skills so that Zane can have all his perks. Kind of like in Call of Duty, in Modern Warfare 3, when you had specialists, it's kind of like you have all the perks. So I wanted to activate all his perks to make him super effective. Then we're going to put another one, we're going to put 5 points in the playing dirty, simply because you get an extra projectile the next 5 shots after you get a kill, which can be super effective with shotguns, snipers, rocket launchers, whatever. Because essentially, if your shotgun's doing 48,000 damage after 1 shot, and then every single shot, the next 5 shots do an extra 48,000 damage, it's kind of like you're doing 96,000 damage every time you shoot the gun for the next 5 times. So it's actually really, really important. Lastly, we're going to put 1 point in here, simply, like I said, just to activate the kill skill, so that every time we get 1 kill, all of this is activated here. And this one included good misfortune, simply to keep our action skills available for as long as possible, increasing their duration after every kill we get. So we get a kill, it increases the duration of our clone and our shield, and the longer the clone and the shield are up, the more weapon damage we constantly get from this side of the tree over here. From this part here, you see the extra 20% extra gun damage per active action skill. So that's the whole build right here, guys. So that's the final look. You don't want to equip anything, you want the shield, and you want the Digiclone. So now I'm just going to show you again where everything completely comes together. So you're going to see right over here that with the Brawler Ward, you get an extra 25% weapon damage while the shield is depleted. So, and then if you see, because it's anointed, the effects double while the shields are depleted. So essentially you get 50% more weapon damage for just having a depleted shield, and you also get health regen. Now you may be asking, okay, but you have a shield on, so you would have to wait to kind of take damage in order for this to pay off. No, not at all. This is where the Spirited Sonic Boom comes in handy, because every single time you activate an action skill, it breaks your shield. So essentially, you put out your Digiclone, it breaks your shield, all your damage boosts, your 50% weapon increase is automatically there. You put out your Digiclone or your shield. So You put both of them out, even better, but it breaks your shield regardless, and you get a 50% extra weapon damage. Not to mention, if you read it up top, it says Zane's weapon damage and movement speed are increased the lower his shield is. So if this automatically breaks your shield in big battles and stuff, you break your shield, you have no shield. So now your movement speed is increased, your weapon damage is increased by 50% just for having a low shield, and your weapon damage is increased again just from this class model here. So you're getting about anywhere from 50 to 75% extra gun damage from these two alone. And if you have any dowel weapons or heavy weapons, you get an extra 31% weapon damage increase. So this is all stacking up. The 50% from here, the extra 70, the 25% from here, the 40% gun damage from here, the extra 40%, actually it's 45% from here, gun damage, all stacks up. So Zane, essentially, I did the math, he gets about an extra 200 to 250% weapon damage boost when everything goes together, because don't forget you also have 25% damage from shooting through your shield too. So this is basically the best Zane build possible, guys. I tried it out. There's gonna be a video at the end of gameplay of me going against Ward, and I absolutely annihilate him. So you're gonna see how well this build goes. So you have a Zane who's super fast, who has all his perks, he has all his kill skills, everything's activated. His clone is also super strong, so it's not like we just put everything into the hitman thing. We have the capstone, which is nice. We press a button, which is super important, but for this button here, we'll have to wait until they update the levels of the characters, because once we have this, which we only need 3 more points to activate it, everything is going to be even better. But we had to make a sacrifice. Since they buffed the clone by 40% extra gun damage, it's super important that we have the clone activated and maxed out. This button, it's sad we don't have it. That's the only, I would say, maybe flaw or downside of it, but it's not really a downside, because to activate all of these perks and goodies, you just have to get a kill, and then everything's available for you. And yes, for people who wanted to know, it does stack. Every time you get a kill, all your kill skills are activated for 21 seconds. But if you get another kill, it restarts the timer. So trust me, it's super easy to get kills. So you're getting kills every second, literally, with Zane. So like, you have constant kill skills. So in the beginning of the battle, you might not have everything activated, but after you get the first kill, boom, everything's ready to go. And that's with boss battles, you have to kill their little minion to get the most out of it. But if not, you're still going to do a lot of damage if the bosses don't have minions, but they all have little minions. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's for the build. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below what you think about the build. But this is definitely the best build in the game for the highest gun damage and survivability and everything. As an overall whole for Zane, this is what makes him the best, guys. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you guys think about it. Scared Soldier signing out. Peace.